Alright, it is Monday, March 2nd, 2025 to 2026. And we have some big severe weather to talk about coming up. So let's get right into it. So first let's talk about Wednesday, because this is our closest risk right now. So we have a slight risk of severe weather that goes out for Choctaw Nation, Fort Smith, Hugo, Durant, McAllister, Antlers, Atoka. Basically, so if you're in the eastern or southeastern part of Oklahoma, you're probably in this slight risk, most likely. But if you're not, there's a marginal risk that goes out for Ada, and Muskogee, Teoqua, Ardmore, and it goes all the way down from Ardmore all the way up into about Jay, Oklahoma. Now, this is just a little bit too far away to be for us to see a full-on outlook on this, so we can't see the tornado threat yet. But tomorrow we will, so we're most likely going to be making a video on this tomorrow again. So let's get into what we can see from the outlook so far here. So here we are on the GFS model for Wednesday. So it starts with Tuesday around 9 p.m. Storms are already trying to fire off. But then actually Wednesday around 12 p.m. we're going to have this big pop-up storm in southern Oklahoma. And this is probably going to be I think that's the first storm of the day that actually might become severe. But then it'll become kind of a line. Now, this isn't looking that strong because these storms aren't looking that strong because this is the GFS model. This is still 3 days out. So, we should at least... we should get way more information by tomorrow. And I think I'm planning we also will make a video Wednesday. So this is going to be a long one. But let's get back into this. So 3 p.m. storms will continue across Oklahoma and gradually a big line. Then it'll get really strong once it gets on that Arkansas border. But it's still going to be strong on the Oklahoma side, as we have also some little pop storm down there in southern Oklahoma. So it's mainly going to be discrete supercells that are going to be the problem, probably Wednesday. But we have much more severe weather to get into, so let's do it. So our next concern will be Thursday. So Thursday on the opposite side of Oklahoma, so that's going to be for areas like Sayre, Watonga, Woodward, Fairview, just Lawton, Frederick, just barely going into the Panhandle. We have a slight risk of severe weather. So this is the day 4 outlook. So it's only going to show this 15 any severe risk, but that should show actually tomorrow what this risk is going to be. But this is so basically if you're in anywhere in fully western Oklahoma, you are in this risk. And even west central Oklahoma is going to get a little dig into this. Now, the Panhandle, so far, if you're in the Panhandle, you're not in this risk. But obviously, as I say all the time on Twitter, YouTube, things can change. We are still, we are 4 days out of this. So, things can change a lot in these next 4 days. So, let's get into the GFS model for Thursday. Now, Thursday is going to be kind of some part of a evening threat. Because, 6 p.m. storms are already going to be kicking off the Panhandle. And look, the Panhandle of Texas, there's even storms that are going to move in. So, look at this. It's going to become a nice little cluster of thunderstorms around 12 a.m. And it's going to keep going. But also, if you're not in those cluster, but if you thought you're safe, in Woodward, no, you have a whole other storm to worry about. So once again, this is the GFS model. This is still 4 days out, so it's not going to look that strong. But I'm telling you, things will look way more accurate in about 2 days because we're going to be making videos every single day for the rest of this week. So, get buckled up. But we have even more to talk about. And next we have Friday, where there's another threat of severe weather. Nah, surprising. Wow. I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. Anyway, so this threat for severe weather is going to be in a way more populated area because it includes Oklahoma City, Norman, Lawton, Ada, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Muskogee. So basically central, eastern, and western Oklahoma, and northern Oklahoma, actually, all in one risk. Now, this is 5 days out. So once again, this is guaranteed to be a slight risk right now. Probably, I'm assuming we'll probably get a slight risk of severe weather. That includes Oklahoma City, maybe even Tulsa. But it depends how this changes within the next 5 days. So, let's get into the models for Friday. Now, so Friday, this is about Friday at 12 a.m. So at 12 a.m. on Friday, we were talking about the Thursday storms a little bit ago. This is actually going to transition into the Friday storms. The storms are going to be hitting extremely early in the morning. So that's going to be 3 a.m. type of stuff in Tulsa. Yeah, it's directly over Tulsa, I believe. But then those storms are going to go away. But then we have more storms to worry about around 6 p.m. on Friday, just on the border. And these are going to be capable of producing rain. I don't think these particularly are going to be producing too much in Oklahoma. But they could still produce, yeah, because they're going to, okay. And then they're going to transition into the Saturday storms, which we will start talking about in 3, 2, 1. Now, this is Saturday. I'm expecting this risk particularly to grow a lot. Once again, this is 6 days out. So, this is far away. This is Saturday, which I'm honestly expecting this to be one of the worst days so far. But I'm expecting them to expand it to include probably Tulsa and stuff, based on what the models are showing. But right for now, this is a very small risk, particularly for Oklahoma. It's a slight risk that includes Choctaw Nation, Hugo, Durant. But once again, I'm expecting this outlook to grow. So let's go through our models and see what we can see with this. So it all starts around Friday at 9 p.m. The storms are going to end off. But then immediately, 9 a.m. on Saturday, these thunderstorms are going to start, our storms are going to start kicking off in southern Oklahoma. They're going to push to the east, and they're going to be able to produce hail, lightning, did I say lightning? Thunder, and maybe even an isolated tornado. I probably, at least we're going to get one tornado warning tomorrow, or Saturday. But they're going to continue up, and look how strong they get when they're right on the border between Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. They get pretty strong over there. And the storms end. So, it's going to be an interesting day for Saturday, but I am expecting quite the storms Saturday. So, let's get back. Let's get to the next slide. Now, I want to talk about some reasons why some of these storms are going to be so strong this upcoming week. So, let's start with Wednesday. Look how warm it gets on Wednesday. This is 3 a.m., guys. 3 a.m. So, it's at 3 a.m., it's going to be 63 degrees in Tulsa, 55 degrees in Oklahoma City. And it's only just going to get warmer from there. And then once the storms start peaking, look how warm it gets. 67 in Fort Smith, 58 in Tulsa, 60 in Oklahoma City, and it's just gonna get and then shortly after that it's gonna get way colder. But then Thursday, when there's more storms that come back, it's gonna get warmer again. I mean, look at the Panhandle. The Panhandle is toasty. It's going to be in the 70s up there, but 70 in Fort Smith, 64 in Tulsa, and 68. That's a average early March afternoon for you in Oklahoma. And then Friday, same coincidence happened, but it gets warmer. Look at southern Oklahoma. Southern Oklahoma is toasty. It's going to be 80 in some areas in southern Oklahoma, but almost everyone in Oklahoma is going to be in the 70s Friday. So 71 in Oklahoma City, 71 also in Tulsa, 73 in Fort Smith, and if you're anywhere in southeastern Oklahoma, you're probably gonna get something at least over 80 degrees. Saturday, so look at this. If I could show this, but there is a cold front that just kind of comes through along with the storms. So before the cold front comes through, it's going to be about 66 degrees at 12 a.m. in Oklahoma City, and 67 in Tulsa, and 64 in Fort Smith. But that cold front comes through. Now it's 51 at 9 a.m. 51 degrees, 56, and 66. Then it comes through, and then it's super cold Sunday. So that cold front will come through, then it gets super cold again. So 50 degrees after the cold front comes through, 54, 59. And let's compare that to before the cold front came through. Before the cold front came through, we were experiencing 80s, 70s, almost mid-70s. But then, quick little pop-up thing. It's going to get warmer again on Sunday, March 8th. But that's not associated with any severe weather as of right now. So we're going to stay out of that for now. But I just want to look at this, because look at that just cold front that just comes through. I mean, it's going to get pretty cold in the Panhandle. I mean, if I could see stuff a little bit better, I would go to the Panhandle and see how cold it's going to be in the Panhandle after that cold front comes through. But let's go to our next reason why these thunderstorms are going to be so strong. So next we're going to be looking at the convective available potential energy. And this is gonna be way different than what we just looked at with the temperatures. It's gonna be quite low, actually. At least for Wednesday so far. So Wednesday, around 6 a.m., we're going to have our most energy in southern Oklahoma, but then it'll kind of break up as we go into the 9 a.m. hour. And there's going to be some energy in the Tulsa area, eastern Oklahoma will get their own part of it. And then it'll just kind of break up. But then Thursday, we have a whole blob of energy come up from Texas into Oklahoma. Now, there's going to be a lot of energy specifically planted over between Lawton and Oklahoma City. We could probably see quite the storms in this area, but then also we could get some big storms in southwestern Oklahoma and maybe even east central Oklahoma. Then they'll break up, but then next we have Friday. This is just a big blob that forms in about around 9 p.m. Well, this is when that's taking. So this would be. So, this is going to be another big threat for energy for particularly Tulsa, Oklahoma City, right planted over central Oklahoma, just like that risk for Friday. But then next we have Saturday, and there's not that much energy particularly planted in Oklahoma. Maybe some in southern Oklahoma, but that's really it. I am looking at Monday too, because we have quite the storm. Maybe might be able to come through then, but that we have nothing about that for now, so we won't worry about that yet. But let's jump over to our next reason. Alright, so this is our final thing we're gonna look at. There's much more I could show you, but I'm not gonna look at it because there's a lot. But so starting with Wednesday with the dew points, this is gonna be another big factor in this upcoming severe weather. So there's gonna be some high dew points in particularly southwestern Oklahoma. Southeastern Oklahoma. Do you recognize that? Particularly where the severe weather is supposed to be on Wednesday. So these thunderstorms are going to have a lot of dew points, but then Thursday, look, there's just going to be a big jump in dew point, right over majority of Oklahoma. If you're in Oklahoma, you're probably going to, unless you're in the Panhandle, you're probably going to be experiencing some high dew points. But then we have Friday. This is right where this is right where our risk area is. But you notice something? Remember that cold front? Well, it looks like it's back, and it's affecting the dew points too. Literally right when it heads through Oklahoma City, the dew point's gonna jump from 62 to 31. It literally in just a matter of time. So I'm telling you, this cold front's gonna play a big factor. And then it reoccurs for Saturday a little bit in the same area for severe weather again. So that's really all I have for the dew points. But this is also gonna play a big factor. So now let's get to the end of the video. Also, a quick little thing. Tomorrow we do have a marginal risk of severe weather. This is not really going to be part of this big train of severe weather. Just it's going to be a little pop-up thing, but it is a marginal risk, so we need to talk about it a little bit. There's really nothing much expected with this. An isolated hail threat that's 5%, but that's really it. So now let's actually cut to the end of the video. Alright, that is all the information I have for you today, but we're going to be making a video tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. So, get ready. This is the first video of the week, and there's going to be one each invisible day, and there's going to be a lot this week. So, goodbye. That's all the information I have for you now. I'll see you guys tomorrow.